What's up YouTube, Brian here. If you've been working for the same employer for quite a while now and you're ready for the opportunity to make that next step in your career and shift from one employer to another, stay tuned as in this video I'll walk you through the pros and cons of making those regular career changes, shifting from one employer to the next. But if you are new to the channel, really quick, again, hi, my name's Ryan. I've been a sales engineer for the last 8 years or so, and over those 8 years I've actually held 7 different positions across 5 different companies, so I definitely have experience of making those career changes. And as always, if you like today's video, go ahead and hit that big thumbs up now. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed already. If you are a subscriber, go ahead and hit that little bell icon. That'll actually notify you every time I create a new video. I'm going to try to create a new video every single Wednesday at 5 p.m., so stay tuned for those. So as I mentioned before, I've held quite a number of different roles over my last 8 years or so of my career. And the fact is that I'm not the only one. Did you know millennials were deemed this fancy title as the job hopping generation? And the fact is, according to Gallup, more than 60% of millennials say they're ready for a change in their career, a change in their job at this very moment. And it's estimated that about a third of us will actually switch jobs this year alone. So it's really no surprise that this is a topic of conversation as more and more people are looking to make that job change. So in my opinion, organizations today are having a really hard time with retaining the newer employee workforce that's coming in. And I think a big part of it has to do with this continued lack of pay as well as benefits. From a pay perspective, most organizations out there tend to offer anywhere from like a 2 to 6% merit increase. You might have some sort of tenure program for getting additional PTO, but that usually starts after about 5 or 10 years, which is a significant amount. So going from, let's say, like 15 PTO days to 20, so you get additional vacation. But even that seems to be going away, especially in the tech field. I'm seeing more and more of this unlimited PTO program, which I have my own personal opinion about that, but we'll create another video for that topic. Also, most employers today offer a traditional 401k option with maybe some level of employer match. I've seen anywhere from 1 to 3%. They usually tend to cap out at around $6,000. And if you compare that with a traditional pension plan, it just isn't competitive enough compared to what there used to be out in the market. If you don't know what a pension is, it used to guarantee you a monthly or annual income come retirement based on your tenure with the organization. And you don't see pension plans anymore. Actually, I think only about 14% of companies actually offer a pension plan today. And because a traditional 401k can roll over with your new company sponsored plan, there's really nothing holding you back from a benefits perspective from switching over from your current employer to a new one. So I think you can guess where my stance is with this. I'm very pro switching jobs, but only when it makes sense based on your circumstance. So I took some time to highlight the pros and cons of jumping from one company to another in a very detailed diagram that's going to come up right now. As you can see, I listed overall more pros than cons. If we start with the pros, the average salary increase for switching from jobs is between 10 and 20%. If we compare that to a traditional merit increase in 2022, which averages around 3%, it's no wonder from a pay perspective, people are switching to a new organization. This is significantly more money and can really be life-changing for many people out there. But salary really isn't always everything. Actually, a study was done that 39% of people switched roles because of a pay increase, which is still a hefty amount of people, but the other 61% have other reasons. They have desires to learn new skills, as an example. Maybe they're looking to progress their career and they want to take that next step. Maybe they're looking to improve their work-life balance, or they're moving away from an existing toxic environment that they might have with a manager that they don't get along with. These can all be great benefits for making that change. For example, let's say you work for an employer today that requires you to go to the office every single day. And that commute for you is 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back. That's an hour and a half a day that you're spending in, rush hour traffic, and just can really, cause a challenge with your work-life balance. A lot of organizations today do have a work from home environment where they empower you to work from the comfort of your own house. That could be a compelling enough of a reason for you to make that change to a new employer. Or let's say you're working a really monotonous job. You've been at it for 4 or 5 years. You're not learning anymore. That might be a reason enough for you to look both outside and inside your organization for a role change so you can have more fun, so you can pick up new skill sets. However, with everything, there could be some cons associated with switching to a new employer. The most common is probably this increase in uncertainty as well as a potential increase in stress. With a higher salary, there could be higher expectations following that. Things like shorter deadlines, longer working hours. If you're in sales, maybe a higher quota attainment, more time on the road traveling if you're a field-based resource, and so forth. So definitely when you're interviewing for the position, identify exactly what those expectations are. That way, if you are trying to make the switch because you're looking for an increase in pay, you can weigh out the pros and the cons as far as, your time you need to dedicate into your role versus a new salary that you'll be earning as a new employee for this organization. The next potential downside is the loss of your employer benefits. If you are working for an employer that offers any sort of PTO based on tenure, you might be actually decreasing the amount of PTO you earn based on making the switch to a new employer. And if you do work for one of those rare employers at 14% that still offers a pension plan, you're foregoing that pension plan. And let's say things don't work back and you go back to your previous employer, most employers will reset those benefits, especially when it comes to PTO. So note that you could lose those benefits should things go awry and you do go back to your previous employer. The last con that I can personally think of actually happened to me only one time in my career though, is a possibility of an employer questioning your loyalty and your allegiance based on how often you're switching careers. Like with everything, making those career changes is a little bit of a balancing act. You want to ensure that, if you are interviewing for a position, you have some sort of loyalty to your organization. So my rule of thumb is, you're there to provide value to the business. Try to stay with an organization for around at least a year and a half, 2 years, maybe a little bit more, at least for one or two of your previous employers. That way, as they are bringing you on, they know if they train you, get you acclimated to the team, you're bringing value to their business before you might make a next potential move for your career. To recap, leaving your current employer for a new job could have upsides for your overall career. It's important to really notate, what your goals are, what's the passion, what's the drive that's making you make that change from one employer to the next. Is it just salary? Is it work-life balance? Are you learning new potential skill sets? Is this a progression for your overall career that can take you to that next step? There's all these different factors that come into play when identifying if you should leave your current employer. And note, you're the author of your own book, right? You're in control of your own destiny. So make that decision for yourself based on where you think you're going to take your career in the future. If you like today's video, don't forget to hit that big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, bye all.